Okay, so we're going to do a deep dive today into the upcoming Elden Ring spin-off Nightreign, and we've got an early review of the game here.
All right.
And it seems like a very unusual mashup of genres.
Yeah.
From Software is taking the Elden Ring universe, and they're making a cooperative roguelike.
Uh-huh.
And not just cooperative, it's actually designed for teams of 3.
Wow.
So you and 2 buddies.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going to dig into all the details of this game and see if it seems like it's going to be worth playing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are very curious about this.
For sure.
Especially since it's coming out relatively soon, May 30th, 2025.
Yeah, just a couple months away.
That's right. It's going to be on PC and all the major consoles.
Oh, wow.
PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S.
Gotcha.
There's even a couple of special editions.
Oh, really?
There's the Deluxe Edition and the Seekers Edition.
Interesting.
But let's talk about what the game actually is before we get into all that.
Yeah, for sure.
So what is this roguelike business all about?
So it's not your typical kind of Souls-like experience, like, where you spend hours grinding and building up your character.
Yeah.
This is, it's much more fast-paced, much shorter play sessions, like 30 minutes.
All right.
And each playthrough is like this 3-day in-game cycle.
Okay.
And every night there's like a big boss fight.
Every night.
Yeah. So you gotta work with your team.
So it's almost like a Souls-like speed run in a way.
Yeah. Kinda.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they wanted to appeal to a wider audience with this one. So it seems like they've made it a little bit more accessible.
Okay, so you said that each playthrough is different. It's procedurally generated.
Yeah.
So how's that going to work?
So the game takes place in this new region. It's called Limveld.
Okay.
And basically, the map is always changing every time you play. But there's also this shrinking map mechanic.
Shrinking map.
Yeah, like you see in battle royales.
Oh, cool.
Where the safe zones start to disappear.
So you're kind of forced into these encounters with other players.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's interesting.
It really adds a lot of tension and makes things pretty unpredictable.
So how about character customization?
Right.
Because in a typical Souls-like, you spend a lot of time creating your build.
Yeah.
You level up your stats, you find new weapons and armor. So is that stuff still in Nightreign?
So it seems like they've really streamlined the whole character system.
Okay.
You don't have that same level of detailed customization. There are 8 pre-made characters to choose from.
8, okay.
And each one has its own unique abilities and like a special ultimate attack.
So you can't really make your own unique build then?
No, not really.
You're kind of stuck with these 8 archetypes.
Yeah, basically.
I wonder how people are going to feel about that.
Yeah, I'm curious too, because a lot of Souls-like fans really love that.
Right.
That aspect of like really fine-tuning their build.
Yeah.
But this is obviously going for something different.
It seems like it's going to be a lot more about teamwork and strategy.
For sure.
Coordinating with your 2 buddies to use your abilities effectively.
Right. It's like each character has a specific role to play.
Yeah. That's a good point.
And you got to figure out how to make them all work together.
So speaking of interesting mechanics, the review mentioned these things called spectral branches.
Oh, yeah, those sound cool.
So what are those all about?
So basically they're like mounts.
Okay.
But instead of riding a horse or something, you summon these giant spectral birds.
Whoa.
And you can like fly around on them.
So you can soar above the battlefield, get a good view of the ass.
Exactly. It really adds a whole new dimension to the combat.
I could see that being really useful for exploration too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Scouting out the map, finding secrets.
And I bet it'll be super helpful for getting around quickly when the map starts shrinking.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
You don't want to get caught out in the open when the safe zone is closing in.
And the review also mentioned something about dynamic enemy placement.
Yeah, that's right.
So what's that all about?
So basically, it means that the enemies aren't always going to be in the same spots.
Okay.
Every time you play through the game, it's going to be a little bit different.
So it's not like you can memorize enemy locations and just run through the level.
Oh, you got to stay on your toes.
Keeps things fresh, keeps things interesting.
Exactly.
And there's also apparently these things called invading bosses.
Oh, yeah, those sound tough.
So what are those?
So it seems like they're these optional super bosses.
Okay.
That can randomly appear during your playthrough.
And if you manage to beat them, you get some kind of special reward.
Yeah, but they're supposed to be extremely difficult.
So it's like a high risk, high reward kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Definitely not for the faint of heart.
All right, so we talked about spectral branches. We talked about invading bosses.
Yeah.
Now, the review mentioned one other thing that I thought was interesting.
Yep.
The relic system. So what's that all about?
So basically, it's a way to add some progression to the game.
Okay.
Because since it's a roguelike, you're going to die a lot.
Right, you start over every time.
Exactly.
So how does this relic system work?
So basically, every time you successfully complete a run, you earn these relics, which are basically like collectible cards. And each relic gives you some kind of bonus or ability.
Oh, I see.
So you can gradually build up a collection of these relics.
And they carry over between runs.
Exactly.
So it's a way to get permanently stronger, even though you're dying all the time.
Yeah, it adds a layer of meta progression to the game.
Interesting. So it's not just about mastering your character's abilities.
Right.
It's also about finding the right combination of relics.
Exactly. And I bet there will be a ton of different relics to collect.
Yeah, that could add a lot of replay value.
For sure.
So it sounds like From Software is really trying something different with Nightreign.
Yeah, it's definitely not your typical Souls-like game.
All right, it's got this roguelike structure. It's focused on cooperative play.
Yeah.
They've streamlined the character building. It's got these cool new mechanics like spectral branches and invading bosses.
And the relic system adds a whole other layer of depth.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see how it turns out.
Me too.
Whether it can really capture the essence of a Souls-like game.
Yeah, especially with all these changes.
Right. Is it still a Souls-like if it's cooperative and roguelike and all that?
That's a good question.
Yeah, and what about the lack of deep character customization?
Right. Will the hardcore fans be okay with that?
Or are they going to feel like it's too limited?
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll find out when the game comes out on May 30th.
Can't wait.
But in the meantime, I want to hear what you think.
Yeah?
What do you think about all these changes?
Uh-huh.
Do you think it's going to be a good game?
Yeah, let us know.
Leave a comment and share your thoughts.
Yeah, we love to hear from you guys.
And we'll be back soon with another deep dive into the world of gaming.
See you next time.
Bye.